Discovered my girlfriend cheating in a video, confronted her at a restaurant, then vanished. We were watching some videos on her phone when a video appeared and she immediately swiped it away. I simply asked why she skipped it, and her reaction was shocking and not her usual self. She said something along the lines of, "I don't need to explain anything to you, so just F off." That level of aggressiveness was weird and extremely off-putting, so I told her that she got me concerned at that point and that her reaction was unnatural. Her next sentence shook me, and this is the point where I suspected something was seriously off. "Either you drop it, or I show you the video, but I immediately break up with you afterward." This really put me in an ultimatum. She did nothing to convince me otherwise. I said I'd drop it, but the whole vibe was off. She obviously got upset by that and claimed that it was a video of her friend making out with some guy, which, lie or not, is really weird. For one, why would she have that on her phone? And second, she hasn't spoken to that friend in a year, and her phone is only a few months old. I tried forgetting about it, but it stuck with me, especially since she is a cheating apologist and her father is a chronic cheater. Now I feel like I'm going insane. She painted me as a control freak or insecure, and I'm not really sure what the reality of things is. I'm scared of talking to my friends about it because we have a lot of mutuals. Edit, woke up to a bunch of comments, some rightfully directing at my stupidity. We plan to see each other this week, either tomorrow or the day after. I will bring up her reaction and the way she treated me and break it off. I won't ask to see the video. I don't think it will make a difference either way. Since a few of you asked, I will post an update soon. I feel you, OP. Relationships can be like walking through a minefield blindfolded, especially when you stumble upon a video that's apparently more classified than Area 51. Her reaction sounds like she's guarding state secrets, not a random video. And then her threatening to break up with you over a video? That's like playing a game of relationship Russian roulette. Also not the greatest options. Honestly, beat her to the punch. Break up with her. Update, hey guys. This is an update of this post, so for context, please check that out. I took your advice and confronted her a day ago. It went something like this. We met up yesterday for dinner. She was unusually cheerful and positive, seemingly excited for the date. I honestly believe she put up that front because she knew I was going to bring this up and wanted me to seem like the bad guy and guilty for ruining her. Mood. We sat down. I was obviously nervous and a bit more reserved. She was very talkative, basically not allowing me to say anything. She would follow a question with another question, basically trying to postpone me bringing it up or hoping that I would eventually forget about it. I interrupted her and said I needed to talk about something more serious. Then I followed up with the fact that the way she acted towards me and the whole situation was unfair and borderline abusive. Her pretty much fake smile was immediately gone, and she instantly got annoyed. She said something along the lines of, "You know, if you're going to be bringing this up the whole night, I don't want to have dinner with you." Basically positioning to walk away. Now, to note, this type of childlike behavior has happened in the past, and my dumb butt without fail would always convince her to stay, change the topic, or chase her down the street as she would be walking off. I would always acquiesce and we would go by her way again. Very childlike. This time was different though. I just said, "Okay," and she said, "Fine then," and started walking away. Usually it takes a minute or so for me to start chasing her down, but I just apologized to the waiter for his troubles and went home. At this point, I was half in tears because, again, I would always try to remedy the situation, and it isn't in my nature to just drop something like this. I ranted to myself for a few minutes and decided to cool off with a show. After an hour or so, she called. I picked up, and she was crying, saying stuff like, "Why do you always have to ruin everything?" That's when I snapped. Ruin everything? What about how you treat me like a doormat? How about the fact that I have to walk on eggshells when I talk with you? How about you hiding the video from me and giving me BS afterward? At this point, she said that she knew I was still stuck on that video, but I said that it's not about the video anymore, it's just how I've been treated. At this point, I started talking about how I was treated, and in my opinion, in an effort to divert the conversation, she said, "Fine, it's not a video of my friend making out." I snapped back, saying that I didn't give a crap about the video anymore and that I was out, that this was over. She tried to get me to listen, and we were kind of talking over each other, but she managed to say what the video was about. In her words, it was a video of her making out with a guy, but that it was just around the same time as we started dating, and since we weren't official yet, she thought it was fine to see her options. All I said was, "Yeah, and I love how you kept that video around for safekeeping months into us dating." She said she already deleted it and that she was sorry. I was kind of over it though, and said that it wasn't about the video anymore and that I was done. All she said at the end was, "Okay, if you say so. That's it." She is now blocked on everything. Honestly, I am inclined to believe this story more than the other one. But I'm also inclined to not give an F. I'm still shook up about it, and adrenaline is pumping just by typing this, but I'm glad this nightmare is over. Sounds like she's the type to blame bad weather on Op for forgetting to wear their lucky socks. Talk about a scapegoat. At least now you know you won't be the one ruining everything by finding someone who doesn't keep relationship souvenirs on their phone. She couldn't talk her way out of this one. Way to stand your ground this time, OP. What would you have done? Next up, OP's marriage hits a rockier patch than the mosh pit at a 90 band reunion. Found my wife cheating on me last night. Hi, I tried posting this on another related subreddit and it was removed. I read the rules here and I'm very sure it doesn't violate any for this sub. Please, mods, if you want to remove this, let me know why. I'm trying to find support for the turmoil I'm feeling, and I don't know who else to turn to but anonymous people on the internet. Anyway, here it goes. I met my wife in 2011. I was DJing a social event at school and playing some 90s rock. I was playing Third Eye Blind, and my wife liked the song that came on. She talked to me, we bonded over our mutual love of the band. Yada yada, we started dating. Fast forward to 2013, we got engaged and took a trip to celebrate. We had this memory we talk about a lot of listening to the whole Third Eye Blind catalog and singing along to all the songs. Together. We got married that year. Fast forward through our whole marriage, we had this thing where we would try to see the band as much as we could. We saw them whenever they were on tour, a total of 9 times during our 9 years of marriage. Last night, we were supposed to see them for the 10th time. If you do the math in your head, we've been married for 10 years as well. That's coming up in November. So, I had this whole thing planned, where we would go see the show, stay over at a hotel, have a romantic night. I get home from work on Friday, my wife is getting ready. She looks amazing. I see a text come on her phone. You know how the rest of the story goes. I don't even want to type it. She met some guy the night before when I was away for work. The part that killed me the most was she wrote that he needed to get condoms and he LOL'd. So I'm left wondering, did they even use any? What does it matter anymore anyway? After reading that, I just left the house and started for the concert. She calls me about 15 minutes later like, "Where are you?" "Oh, just on the way to the show." "What? Why?" "You know why. Think long and hard as to why I might be acting this way." I just hang up. Anyway, I think I was in shock still. I was pretty cool about it, but there's some backstory there that I don't want to get into as to why I was prepared. She's cheated twice before in the past. I didn't really have any emotions at the time. Actually, when I started typing this, it was the first time I felt anything. So she calls back and starts going through the motions. "Oh, we are just friends. Oh, we didn't. Or actually do it. Oh, I was drunk. Oh, it was just in a little bit." Then it was all, "Come back and let's talk about this like adults," as if I'm the childish one for having stormed out. I'm thinking, no, if that happens, I'm not seeing the show. We're just going to talk about how she cheated, and she's going to try and seduce me, and that thought grossed me out. I never thought about sex with my wife and felt gross, but then I did. So I got to the concert and the guy scanned my ticket. He looks at me and says, "There's 2, indicating that he wanted to scan the other one. I just stared at him blankly and said, "Yes, there's 2, and went inside. It was so weird. I felt like I was hypnotized. And then there was the show, amazing show. I had a good time. I met some nice people in my row, and we had a fun time enjoying the concert together. Some lyrics hit a little differently. I've never been so alone, and I've never felt more alive. I felt pretty alive at the concert. I danced with the crowd and screamed my frustrations into the loudspeakers. No one could hear me over the loud rock music. It was over pretty early. I wanted to sit at the bar and drink, but that would have required talking to someone, and I just couldn't. Outside the context of the concert, I was thinking about the texts again, so I went to the hotel I had booked for my wife and me and went to sleep alone. I woke up to about 30 emails. She was up all night feeling all kinds of emotions, I guess. Guilt, shame, anger at me. Those were the most surreal, the ones where she was mad at me for going through her phone. A lot of bargaining and pleading. The worst was she had sent me cards I had written for her years before, anniversary cards, birthday cards, Christmas cards. I always handwrote a letter for her, professing my love for her. I never used to write anyone cards like these, but I did for her. She used to write cards like these for me. She hasn't in a number of years. I think her intent was that upon reading the cards my heart would soften and I would realize how much I loved her. I would come to my senses and come to her, and we would talk it through and I would forgive her and it would all be better. But instead, it just made me realize how much she doesn't love me. At this point, I can't forgive her. I forgave her once, and here we are. If I forgive her again, it's just a matter of when, not if. I'm back in this same scenario writing sad stories on Reddit. The only question now is whether I respect myself enough to make sure this never happens to me again. The community has some thoughts. Let's check them out. First up, give her divorce papers in a card. The UP replies, "OMG, that's perfect." Someone else chimes in, "You already gave her enough chances. It's time for you to move on. Who knows how many more instances have occurred that you don't know of? Get tested for STDs. Talk to a lawyer. Get DNA tested. For kids, if any, talk to your friends and family. Don't leave the house instead. Make her leave, unless it's under her name." The OP replies, "This is the worst part. It's in both our names, and there's no way for me to make her leave. So it's either stay with her in our house where she will make my life miserable, or I move out and get some peace but leave behind all my stuff. My bed, which I never want again anyway, my pets, my garden I've been growing all summer. It's one thing that she cheated, but it's an entirely new injury that now my life is completely uprooted. I'm living an hour from work now with my parents because I'm a teacher and I don't get any income over the summer. I'm not getting paid again until the end of August, and the bank account is running dry. I'll be spending my last cents on rent for her to live in our apartment, probably with the dude I caught her with, while I'm living with my parents. And I can't not pay the rent because, of course, I'm on the hook for that legally. Oh, and the AC has broken at my parents' place and won't be fixed for 3 weeks. It was 95% humidity earlier today, but it's cooled down to 87 after the rain, so I've got that going for me. At least you got to enjoy Third Eye Blind and some unexpected lyrical therapy at the concert. As for those anniversary cards, those are now collector's items in the Hall of Irony. And dealing with broken AC during a heat wave at your parents' place? That's some straight-up Murphy's Law right there. Hang in there, buddy. It's clear you're navigating through a storm, but hey, storms eventually pass. Focus on what brings you peace and clarity, whether it's your garden despite leaving it behind, or finding solace in the support of friends and family. And remember, you've got the strength to rewrite your story, AC or no AC. And hey, I heard going 30 minutes in a sauna a day reverses the signs of aging. Maybe this no AC thing can reverse the stress she's just put on your body. Thoughts? Thank you for joining us today. Be sure to like and subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on our next video. See you next time!